Over the years, the Sonic franchise universe has introduced many incredibly powerful characters, either as enemies or allies of the fastest blue hedgehog in the universe.
We don't want to fight you.
But do you know which one is the strongest of them all? Knuckles is definitely one of the most powerful. As the guardian of the Master Emerald, he's one of Sonic's first rivals, eventually becoming one of his main allies. His first appearance was in the 1994 game Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Since then, he has appeared in most of the games and series within the franchise. After stealing the spotlight in the second live-action Sonic movie released in 2022, Knuckles even got his own spin-off show on Paramount+. While Sonic is absurdly fast, Knuckles possesses an enviable strength that can destroy most enemies. The spikes on his hands help him climb walls and dig. As if that wasn't enough, he's also a skilled martial artist, making him a formidable opponent even for the Blue Blur. Despite being able to do all this, he's still the weakest on this list of the 12 most powerful characters in the Sonic universe, so hop on board, because another Cinewave is about to begin. In the second live-action Sonic movie, we meet one of the most powerful versions of the mustachioed villain who's always trying to defeat the Blue Hedgehog. Dr. Eggman manages to harness the power of the Master Emerald and gains immense power, so immense that he's capable of firing green beams and manipulating chaos energy to cause various phenomena. He can use telekinesis, can fly, teleport, and can control technology with his mind. In other words, he becomes incredibly strong, which is why he earns 11th place on our list. Another quite peculiar and powerful character in Sonic's lore is Blaze the Cat. She is a princess from another dimension and has the ability to create and control fire. In a way, she's practically a counterpart to Sonic. In her world, there are the Soul Emeralds, which are also counterparts to the Chaos Emeralds from that dimension. While Sonic transforms into Super Sonic by gathering the Chaos Emeralds, Blaze transforms into Burning Blaze. Along with gaining powers similar to Super Sonic's, like flying and becoming extremely powerful, she also gets a boost in her fire abilities when in her Burning Blaze form. Both the Chaos Emeralds and the Soul Emeralds are amazing, right? If you wish you could use them to transform like Sonic characters, comment #Chaos down below. Chaos is the antagonist of Sonic Adventure 1 from 1998. He is a water-based creature that can change his body structure into different forms, but the main thing is that he can absorb Chaos Emeralds to achieve different evolutions with multiple stages. By absorbing all the Chaos Emeralds, the villain reaches his most powerful form, Perfect Chaos, a gigantic water monster capable of creating massive floods and tsunamis. He was so powerful in this form that he wiped out Knuckles' clan around 3,000 years ago. Only Super Sonic was able to stop him, but it was by the skin of his teeth. Chaos was definitely extremely powerful. You've probably noticed Sonic gets caught up in all sorts of wild adventures, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that there's a night version of Sonic. This is Excalibur Sonic, from the 2009 game Sonic and the Black Knight. He's tasked with saving the world of Camelot from the tyrant King Arthur, who has been corrupted and transformed into the Black Knight, terrorizing the realm. During the story, Sonic's sacred sword, Caliburn, merges with the other sacred swords and becomes Excalibur. By wielding this relic, Sonic gets an epic suit of armor and becomes way more powerful, turning into a force of justice capable of creating yellow destructive energy through his sword. This Sonic form didn't stick around for long, but it was definitely powerful. That's why it earns this spot on the list. Silver is another important hedgehog in the Sonic franchise. He comes from a distant future where the Earth is undergoing an apocalypse. Unlike hedgehogs like Sonic and Shadow, Silver's standout power is his incredible telekinesis, which allows him to lift objects and huge structures, using them as projectiles. Believing that Sonic was the cause of his dystopian future, Silver travels back in time with the mission to kill the protagonist. However, he realizes that it was all a misunderstanding and that he had been tricked by Mephis, who we'll talk about soon. Thanks to his telekinesis, Silver can also fly without needing to transform or use boosters. Even so, Silver can harness the power of the Chaos Emeralds to transform into Super Silver. This happens at the end of the 2006 Sonic the Hedgehog game, when Sonic shares the Chaos Emeralds' energy with Shadow and Silver, allowing all three of them to reach their super forms and fight the main villain together. Another major antagonist for the Blue Blur who's earned his place on this list is Metal Sonic. He made his first appearance in Sonic CD back in 1993. This dangerous creation is a killing machine designed by Dr. Eggman with one goal: eliminate Sonic. Because of this, he has Sonic's abilities and some additional powers, like being able to fire laser beams from his chest. Most of the time, Metal Sonic seems to be just a mindless metallic shell fully obedient to Eggman, but the truth is, he has a consciousness of his own and a pretty dark personality. This is put to the test in Sonic Heroes, an amazing game I spent my whole childhood playing, where Metal Sonic evolves into Neo Metal Sonic and betrays Eggman. In the climax, he evolves once again, becoming Metal Overlord, a gigantic, nearly unbeatable monster that could could only be defeated by an alliance between Sonic and many of his friends like Knuckles, Tails, Rose, and Shadow. This villain is bound to make an appearance in the Sonic movies soon, and when that happens, it's going to be tough to bring him down.
This is the worst!
Coming in at number 5 is the golden version of our main protagonist. As everyone knows, Sonic is the fastest hedgehog in the world. To give you an idea, he can break the sound barrier without breaking a sweat. He's already strong in his base form, but things get truly insane when Sonic comes into contact with the 7 Chaos Emeralds and transforms into Super Sonic. As we've mentioned in other videos, the super forms are inspired by Dragon Ball's Super Saiyan, which already shows you how powerful Sonic becomes in this state. With his fur turning golden, Super Sonic becomes incredibly strong and resistant. Plus, he gains the ability to fly. This is the form Sonic takes when things get really bad, and it's almost impossible for any enemy to stand up to him in this state. If Sonic is powerful, Shadow is something else. The Dark Hedgehog, introduced in Sonic Adventure 2 back in 2001, has almost the same abilities as the franchise's protagonist. He uses special rocket shoes that help him reach Sonic's speed and even fly. But that's not all. Shadow has powers that Sonic could never dream of, like harnessing Chaos Energy to teleport or even freeze time. When he gets a hold of the 7 Chaos Emeralds, he transforms into Super Shadow. This form gives him powers similar to Super Sonic, and his control over Chaos Energy increases significantly. As Super Shadow, he can even teleport a massive alien creature into space. There's no doubt, no one else could pull off something like that. Now let's talk about the 3 most powerful characters in the Sonic universe, but before we do, hit that subscribe button to keep getting awesome content. Kicking off the top 3 most powerful characters in the Sonic universe is Infinite. The main antagonist of Sonic Forces, Infinite was once the most feared mercenary around. That was until he got completely humiliated by Shadow. The one known as the Ultimate Mercenary had his pride shattered by that defeat. So he sought out an artifact called the Phantom Ruby, which made him even more powerful than ever and helped bring Eggman's empire to new heights. With the Phantom Ruby, Infinite gained the ability to create and manipulate virtual energy constructs as well as entire virtual realities. Thanks to this, he can do things like create replicas of the franchise's greatest villains, including Chaos, Metal Sonic, and even Shadow himself.
But that's simply not possible.
Luckily, it's not all villains on this podium. Sonic returns, but this time in his most powerful form, Hypersonic. This is one of the rarest forms of the Blue Hedgehog, as it only appeared in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles from 1994. Sonic reaches this form after absorbing the Super Emeralds, which are the Chaos Emeralds powered up by the Master Emerald. So think of him as a Super Sonic. The reason Sonic hasn't transformed into this form again is due to how ridiculously strong he becomes when using it. He's practically invincible, able to defeat any enemy with a single hit, and his speed gets so crazy that he leaves multiple after images behind as he runs. But in my opinion, the coolest part of this form is his look. His constantly shifting silver color is just awesome. Even though Hypersonic is basically a god, he's still not the most powerful character in the franchise. That title goes to Mephis. Is the antagonist of Sonic the Hedgehog. He is one half of Solaris, the god responsible for destroying Silver's future, which I mentioned earlier. He represents Solaris' consciousness and willpower. This guy is essentially the embodiment of evil. Physically, he resembles Shadow quite a bit, but there's a reason for that. Mephis copied the appearance of the Black Hedgehog after merging with his Shadow. Mephis is such a huge threat that he's the only one who ever actually managed to kill Sonic, though the Blue Hedgehog was revived shortly after. Thanks, Sega. In short, Mephis is incredibly powerful and has tons of abilities that earn him the top spot on this list. He can teleport, move objects with telekinesis, summon and manipulate shadows, create infinite clones of himself, and even manipulate the fabric of space and time itself. And as if that weren't enough, he's simply immortal, and that's just in his base form. When he fuses with Iblis, a creature that represents Solaris' raw power, Mephis transforms into Solaris himself. If Mephis was nearly unbeatable before, as Solaris, he's hands down the most powerful entity we've ever seen in the Sonic franchise. The only reason he was defeated is that he had to face Super Sonic, Super Shadow, and Super Silver all at the same time. One-on-one, that would have been impossible. I bet you didn't know there were characters this powerful in the Sonic world, but trust me, there's a trend of even stronger characters with extraordinary powers appearing in the future. To keep having fun, just click one of the 2 videos on screen. I guarantee you'll love them. Thanks, and see you next time!